Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel of Evolution. My name is Shuby, and this beautiful bright morning before the sun is up, while this light is casting a shadow on this half of my face, this is the perfect opportunity to talk about the shadow, doing shadow work, and why it's important to look into the depths of our own souls and face all of the bullshit and trauma and self-hatred that we possibly have buried deep within us, hidden in that shadow, and how to overcome it. I have a 4-step simple process that I am going to share with you guys. So let's dive into it. First off, how do we look into the depth and understand where do we begin to bring all of these sunken ships that are deep, buried deep within ourselves? How do we bring them to the surface? How do we look into, and why would we want to? The reason we want to is because our entire lives are driven by goals. We're able to reward ourselves mentally by the things we overcome in life. We are able to free ourselves from that enslavement of our minds by overcoming our egos, by transcending and going forth and reconnecting with that divine spark, that source, that authenticity that is lying as the treasure buried, protected by these dragons. We have to face these dragons to get to that treasure, and this is exactly why we're doing this. So we look at ourselves. The first and best way is to look at our addictions. Do we drink too much? Too many drugs? Are we in shitty relationships because we're trying to, simple endocrine manipulation, sex, lust, shitty relationships just to increase our oxytocin levels? Are we exercising so hard to the point that once again we're, using hormones by forcing ourselves into situations of dependency, going too far? Are we workaholics? Do we spend every waking moment diving into working? Because all of these things, now you look into them, you can understand if we have a healthy relationship with them or if we are using these things to avoid the issue because we're not able to face the dragon or the monster that is facing us. We don't want to even look at it. We cannot look that monster in the eyes, so we avoid it with one of these substances or perhaps something else. But this is the best place to start. Now that you realize that you're overdoing something and why you're doing something, because that's the important part. You understand why you do things. Now you can judge them to whether they are useful or not. The warriors of all of our history, the ones that we connect with the most are the ones that had this code that they live by. They had this honor. Like the samurai in Japan followed the Bushido code. They lived by honor and loyalty and respect and justice, and it was so connected to them that if they brought dishonor to anything, they would perform harikiri and kill themselves, to bring honor back to them. The thing is, with the warriors of the past, they lived so intensely by this because they had to. They were trained. They looked into their depths and they overcame this shit and utilized it by having discernment. They were able to look at everything without that bias and then discern what was good and what was evil and how to learn from that and to choose to whether or not to fight it and face it and fix it, or if it was even worth it or something that was a good thing that we could harness, hone, and utilize. So now that we have all of this information in front of us because we've brought it to our awareness. Now we are able to understand whether it's hurting us or helping us. If it's hurting us or revealing to us our weaknesses, now we have something to work with. Now we want to write it down. Write it down because that makes it hard evidence. Now it's a material object that's in front of us. Now we have no choice but to look at it because it's right there in front of us. Write it out and don't even hold yourself back. Just whatever comes out, comes out. Just write. Don't worry about the grammar. Don't worry about anything. Just write. Let it all out there. Once you have however many pages you come up with and your authenticity has been expressed through pen or pencil onto the paper, give it a day or two and then come back to it and then read it. You're going to realize as your state has changed in that couple days, you're going to be able to come back from a different place where it's not as fresh in your mind as it was when you wrote it, and you're going to be able to reread it, and it's really going to resonate with you if you can get into a good conscious state, what you don't like about it and what you like about it. Once again, that's going to be like the warriors of the past who are able to discern where hell is and what's beneficial. Now that you have that idea of what you hate and all of your weaknesses are brought forth to the light and you started enlightening the shadow, right? You bringing light to it so now you can see it. It's objective. Now you can make a plan. I don't like this about myself. What am I going to do about it? How am I going to fix it? Okay, so I'm working too much to avoid this issue. I'm going to take some time off and handle it. I'm constantly trying to escape and stay unconscious through some carnal instinct because I'm not willing to face any of my problems. So I'm going to set that aside for a moment. And even if I have to stand from a distance at first, I'm going to look at the problem. And then you can work your way towards it. Inch towards it, inch towards it. Making a hurdle and another hurdle and another hurdle. Doesn't matter how long this goal takes, but you have to work towards it. First and foremost, you have to bring it to your awareness. Bring it to the light. Look at it. And then write it down. Make it hard. So that's 1. Look into yourself. Know thyself. See where your faults are and accept them. Be open and optimistic or pessimistic. I don't really care, I guess. Just look at it objectively without an optimistic or pessimistic view. Just unbiased. And then realize if you don't like it, you like it, utilize it. Number 2, write it down. Now that it's fact, it's hard in front of you. Give it a couple days. Change your mindset. Get out of it. Come back. Number 3, reread it. Organize it. Discern what you want to work with. What you can throw out because it's beneficial. And then plan a goal. Number 4, make it happen. Bring that shadow to the light. Face all of your problems. Work every single day with that goal to overcome it, and you will start to lighten the load that you have been carrying around and not even realizing it. You'll get limber. You'll be ready to rip. You're going to have an entire new energy coming through you like you have never imagined was even possible. I love you guys. Peace!